That's okay. I don't care.
It just got recorded.
Everybody knows those
We're
days.
recording right now. We are live. No, we're not live.
90 degrees.
Oh, we're being recorded. Okay, so you should have an angle that looks something like that on your paper.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and hopefully you use the ruler to draw it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use a protractor to measure that angle in degrees. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we know the one most important point on an angle, and that is what? The vertex. And that is this point right here. It's called the vertex. Will you please label your vertex with some sort of capital letter, whatever one you would like. I'm going to go with A. All right? And then the sides of this particular angle are made up of what kind of creatures?
Line segments.
Not line segments because they've got arrows on them, so they are rays. Okay, now it's not always going to be rays. It could be made out of line segments or it could be made out of lines, but these are rays. And so we always just call these the sides of the angle. And I know that's a very challenging vocabulary word. It's very hard for you to remember that, but yeah, figured it with you. But I'm sure you'll be all right. And so will you place a point on the side of the angle and label those points as well with whatever letters you want, except you can't repeat, right? All right, and then now for those of you who have not done it already, we're going to learn how to measure the number of degrees in this angle. So take your protractor, and it's got a little crosshair thingy right here, okay? You need to place that so that it is directly on top of the vertex of the angle, okay? Then you need to rotate your protractor in such a way that one of the sides of the angles lines up with one of the zeros on the protractor. And you should notice that there's a lot of different ways I can do this. I could go this way, I could go the short way and have it line up like that, right? Okay. I could also, if I wanted to be crazy, take this side and line it up like that, okay? The exciting thing is that either way you do it, you're going to come up with the same answer, okay? What you cannot do, however, is you cannot line your protractor up with one of the sides like that, okay? So the side of your angle, one of the rays has to be going through the protractor somehow, okay? So I'm going to do this the easy way and line it up like that, all right? Okay, now you should be able to look and see where the second ray goes through the protractor, and the only crazy thing here is that there's two numbers to choose from, and we need to figure out which number is the correct one to use, okay? Right, two different ways you can do that. Nate says in this case we're going to use the smaller of the two numbers. Why? Right, because this angle is less than 90 degrees. Because it's less than 90 degrees, it's an acute angle, so I'm going to use the smaller of the two numbers. The other way that I could decide which one to use is I could go, okay, I lined this up with 0. The 0 is on the inside of all of these numbers, so my answer is going to be on the inside of all these numbers as well. Okay? But either way, how many degrees does it appear that this angle is? My angle is about 52 degrees, okay? All right, now there's a bunch of different ways that I can name this angle, okay? I've got these letters on here. One way that I can do it is I can call it quite simply angle A, because the vertex is A. We'll call it angle A, all right? What's another way that I can do it?
ABC.
Luke?
Angle BC.
Angle BC?
No, ABC.
ABC? Okay, here's the problem with AB. What?
BC. BAC.
BAC, right, because if I go ABC, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the order that he told me through the points. So A, B, C would look like that right there. So angle ABC would actually be this angle that we did not want to talk about. So when you are naming angles, it is muy importante that the letter that is the vertex always goes in the middle. And so that's why Luke changed his answer and said, no, I really want to call it angle what? What did you say? BAC. Okay, and then what's the other fun way that I can do it? If I wanted to. CAB. So I can switch those around just like with a segment or whatever and call it CAB if I wanted to. Okay? All right, so far so good? Okay, and then what I would write is I would say the measure, M stands for measure, of angle, little angle symbol stands for angle, BAC is 52 degrees. So will you please all write on your paper the name of your angle and what the measure is the way I did up here. The measure of angle, blah, 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 is whatever you came up with. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, bless you. Okay, I believe, oh no, there's two more things we needed to learn about angles. One is there's something called the reflex angle. And that's kind of a weird idea. But we got the measure of this angle by starting basically at this side and going to there, and that measured 52 degrees, okay? The other way that we could do it, if we wanted to, is we could start here and instead of going counterclockwise, I could go clockwise and measure it around that way, okay? And that's called the reflex angle if you go the long way around. If this angle right here is 52 degrees, what's the measure of my reflex angle?
128.
128. I like your thinking, but you're a little bit off. 308. Why is it 308?
360, okay.
Right, because it's 360 all the way around. And so if I have used up 52 of these degrees here, then that leaves me 308 degrees on the outside, okay? So if they ask you to measure the reflex angle, you measure the small one, and then just take that and subtract from 360. Gesundheit. Okay, and then the last thing that I would like you to do, the last thing that we need to know about today, is I need you to bisect your angle. And so the way you do that is you're going to take your protractor and put it back where it was when you used it to measure. My angle is 52 degrees, so if I bisect that, how many degrees will I have? 26, because bisect cuts it in half. So I'm going to put a little dot right here where the 26 is. And then I'm going to move that tool away. And then I am going to connect the vertex through that dot right there. Okay? And so now I have bisected that angle and cut it into two equal pieces. Called the Angle Bisector. So this bad boy right here is the angle.
Did you say something about like a dot somewhere?
Uh-huh. You want me to replay?
Replay, please.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, there it is.
Is anything happening? No. Dang it. Okay, so what happened is I took my protractor and set it up the way I had it when I measured the angle to be 52 degrees, okay? And then I said, okay, half of 52 is 26, so I put a dot on the protractor at 26. I mean, on the paper at 26. So you have to be able to take your angle and cut it in half. If you need help, I can help you.
Alright, I got it.
Okay, and then, whoa, I don't know what just happened there.
What if it's like an odd number?
Round up.
Alright. Round down.
Be difficult, why don't you?
I will.
You're doing a good job. And then I connected the vertex with that dot that I had made on the protractor, and this is my angle bisector. Okay, so now there's a couple things that we need to know about that. I know it's like 3,000 degrees in here. Okay, first of all, the way that I show that that is an angle bisector is just like with the segments. We put the slashes through the equal segments, or congruent segments. I'm going to put slashes through the angles too, but I need a place to put the slashes first. So I'm going to make a little arc, and put a slash there, and a little arc, and put a slash there. So any arc that has one single slash, those are all equal. If they have, both have two, then those are equal, and so forth. So that shows that that is an angle bisector. Now I am going to go ahead and put a dot on your angle bisector somewhere, and pick another letter.
P.
P. Okay. Now how many angles do I have on my diagram? I've got 3. I've got the original red one, and then I've got these two halves right here. Okay? So can I call this angle angle A anymore? No, because now if I say angle A, I don't know if you want the whole big one or one of the two small ones. So if there's more than one angle at a vertex, then you need to use more than one letter to name that angle. So I can no longer call that angle A. Somebody tell me what I could call this top angle right here. BAP. So that would be angle BAP on top, or I could switch those around and go PAP if I wanted to. And this one on the bottom would be angle PAC. Okay? So if there's more than one angle at a vertex, you need to use more than one letter to name that angle. Okay? Woo! Yep. That's all I got. Dude.